Good morning, my dear students. In the last video, we have discussed with the phylum Annelida and its general characters and classification. And also we have discussed with the morphology of leech or Hirudourenia granulosa. And today we are discussing the digestive system of leech. So this digestive system of leech consists of a straight tube called alimentary canal, and it is associated with salivary glands. The first part of digestive system, that is alimentary canal. So this alimentary canal starts with the mouth and ends with the anus. So this has been divided into following parts. First one, foregut or stomodeum. Second one, midgut or mesenteron. Third one, hindgut or protodium. So foregut or stomodeum, which consists of preoral chamber, buccal cavity and pharynx. These are lined with cuticle. You can see in the picture the first part of the alimentary canal, that is foregut. Second part, that is midgut or mesenteron, which consisting of, or it starts from esophagus, crop, stomach and intestine. All these have endodermal lining. And the third part, that is hindgut or protodium, which consisting of rectum and anus, which is lined with cuticle. This is the parts of alimentary canal. In that first part, that is foregut or stomodeum, in that the first it is preoral chamber. The alimentary canal begins with mouth. So it is a cup-shaped depression on the ventral side of the anterior sucker, that what we call it as the mouth. And the mouth is small triradiate aperture which is situated in the center of the anterior sucker. You already know that the leech is provided with two prominent sucker, that is anterior and the posterior sucker, and the anterior sucker bears the mouth, and this it is guarded or protected by a velum, and it is made up of three lips. The hollow space of anterior sucker present in front of the mouth, it is termed as preoral chamber. In the picture you can clearly see the first part of the alimentary canal, that is foregut. The second part, that is buccal cavity. The triradiate mouth opens into the buccal cavity. The three crescent jaws are embedded in the mucous membrane of buccal cavity. Each jaw is laterally compressed, muscular, and it is covered with fine cuticle. So here is the picture of jaw. First one, A, that is the frontal view, and the B, it is the lateral view of a jaw. So this is thickened at the free edges to form a ridge. This ridge shows a row of minute teeth, or we call it as denticles. Hence the jaw is termed as monostecodont. Mono means single, that is monostecodont. On either side of jaw, 40 to 45 salivary papillae with many openings of salivary glands which are present. In this picture you can clearly see the presence of salivary papillae. So the next part, it is the pharynx, that is the third part of foregut. The next chamber is pharynx, which is present in 5th to 7th segment. You already know that Hirudourenia granulosa, which consisting of 33 segments, the pharynx, which is present in 5th to 7 segment. So these pharynx, they are surrounded by salivary glands, and the salivary gland, the ducts of the salivary glands, they open through the salivary papillae which are present on the jaws. The second part of that is the alimentary canal, that is the midgut or mesenteron. First one, that is esophagus. The pharynx open into a short narrow tube called esophagus, which opens into the crop. So this crop, which is present in, that is, it extends from 9th to 18th segments at the maximum, that means it consisting of 10 segments, one in each segment. Each chamber, it is produced into 2 lateral diverticula. The diverticula of the last chamber are the biggest, and it will reach up to 22nd segment. So the crop acts as a blood storage organ of leech. So the next part, that is the stomach. The crop enters into a comparatively small stomach present in the 19th segment. The opening of the crop into stomach, it is guarded by the sphincter. So next it is the intestine. The intestine is a straight and narrow tube. It extends from 20th segment to 22nd segment. So the intestine mucous membrane shows longitudinal and transverse folds which increase the absorptive surface. The intestine leads into rectum. Next, it is the third part of that is the alimentary canal, that is rectum. So it is a broad and short chamber which is lying in 22nd segment to 26th segment, and the last part of digestive system, that is the anus. The rectum opens out through anus. It is a very small opening which is present on the dorsal side of the body, which is nearer to the posterior sucker. So coming to the second part of digestion, that is the digestive glands. Lee shows 2 types of digestive glands. First one, that is salivary glands, and second one, that is the gland cells which are present in the gut. Salivary glands, these are unicellular glands present below the pharynx. Each gland gives small duct. They open on the salivary papillae of the jaw. The saliva contains a substance called hirudin. It prevents the clotting of blood of the host during sucking. Second one, the gland cells which are present in the gut, which are scattered in the epithelium of the crop, stomach and intestine, and these secrete mucus in the crop. Next, that is feeding. Leech attaches to the host with the posterior sucker. Then it applies anterior sucker to the host. The jaws move and make A-shaped wound. The blood of the host is then sucked up by pump-like action of the pharynx. The salivary glands secrete a substance, that is hirudin, which prevents coagulation of blood. This enables the leech to draw blood continuously. A leech can suck blood which is 3 to 6 times more than its body weight. This is stored in the crop. When once leech drinks the blood, it need not go for sucking the blood till 3 months to 1 year. Digestion. The globin of the blood is the food of leech. The blood is digested and absorbed directly by the cells of the stomach. The digested food is absorbed in the intestine and stomach. The undigested food stored in rectum and digestion occurs through the anus. So this is the digestive system of leech. Next it is the excretory system of leech. In Hirudinea, excretory system which includes 17 pairs of nephridia. They are arranged in 6th to 22nd segments, one pair in each segment. In these 17 pairs, the first 6 pairs will not show any contact with the testes. They are called pretesticular nephridia, whereas the next 11 pairs of nephridia will show contact with testes, hence they are called as testicular nephridia. The structure of testicular nephridia. Here is the picture of testicular nephridia where the 11 pairs of nephridia which show contact with that of the testis sac. Here it is actually testicular nephridia. It is horseshoe shaped structure and each nephridia which consisting of 6 regions. Here you can see in the diagram the first one which indicates about testis sac. Second one, there are 6 regions what I said earlier. The first one or the second marking initial lobe, third one apical lobe, fourth one main lobe, fifth one that is vesicular, that is the duct, vesicle and the nephridiopore. That means ciliated organ, first one, initial lobe, apical lobe, main lobe, inner lobe, vesicle duct and vesicle. So here we will discuss one after the other of testicular nephridia. Ciliated organ. It contains 2 parts, that is central reservoir and many ciliated funnel. This is the first structure of that is testicular nephridia. So the reservoir, it is made by single celled thick layer. The layer shows a small number of openings. In these openings the funnels are arranged. Here you can see the ciliated organ in the picture along with the ciliated funnels. The neck of the funnel enters the pore. The broader parts of these funnels, they are closely approximated and cover the reservoir. These funnels shows the cilia. You can see hair-like structure. The ciliated organ, it is present in the perinephrostomial ampullae. In the embryo, it is connected with the nephridium by cellular cord and takes up the excretory function. But in the adults, it has no connection with the nephridium. So the major role which is carried out by the ciliated organ, it is the hemocoelomic system. Second one, that is the initial lobe, which is a canal-like structure, all the testicular nephridium. It is long. It is coiled around the apical lobe. It is the testis lobe. It joins with the anterior limb of the main lobe. Anteriorly it extends towards the testis sac and ends there near the perinephrostomial ampullae. It consisting of a single halo cells placed end to end having intracellular canal. Next, that is apical lobe. The posterior limb of the main lobe passes forward to form a stout lobe. The apical lobe which lies beneath the gut. Its anterior end is swollen and bent on itself. It just looks like the handle of walking stick, the apical lobe. Next, it is the main lobe which looks like a horseshoe proper, and it is present just between 2 adjacent cropped cecae. It is the bigger part of nephridium which consisting of two unequal limbs. It has a short posterior and long anterior limbs. Inner lobe. It is thin and narrow and lies all along the concavity of the main lobe. Its cells are long and tubular. The lumen of each cell is very large and cytoplasm contains a small nucleus. It extends out of the apical lobe. Next, it is the vesicle duct and vesicle. It is a thin walled large chamber. It shows inner ciliated epithelium. So, it is present behind the main lobe. It gets a vesicle duct from the ventral end of the anterior limb of the main lobe. Vesicle duct which pass over a thin walled oval bag called bladder or vesicle. This vesicle takes up storage of excretory waste. It gives a small duct called excretory duct which opens out through the nephridium pore. So, altogether the nephridium is made up of cord of cells. The initial lobe has no canal, but its intercellular ciliated canal starts from the apical lobe and goes into inner lobe and passes through the main lobe and enter into the vesicle duct. So, the second part, that is the pretesticular nephridia, which consisting of 6 pairs which are present from 6th to 11th segment. So, these are not associated with testes. They resembles the testicular nephridia in all ways, but these pretesticular nephridia will not show perinephrostomial ampullae and ciliated organs. So, next it is the central canal of nephridium. The cells of initial, apical and inner lobe having intracellular canals opens into a central canal. So, this central canal, which originated from the anterior part of the apical lobe, a long passageway enters the vesicle duct. This canal carries the excretory products which get secreted by the glandular cell masses of the nephridium and finally discharges into vesicle through vesicle duct. So, the last part of excretion, that is process of excretion. A nephridium is excretory in function and serves to eliminate excess of water and nitrogenous wastes. The nephridia will remove the nitrogenous wastes of hemocoelomic fluid. It absorbs more ammonia, small amount of urea and other substance. Nephridium act as excretory as well as osmoregulatory in function. So, this will maintain the water balance in the body. The osmotic pressure of the body fluid is always higher than the surrounding water. Hence, the water enters its body continuously. These wastes are finally reach the vesicle and are sent out through the nephridio pore. The leeches have a special mechanism in their epidermis for taking Na, that is sodium and chloride ions, to compensate those lost in the metabolism. Thank you.